Hi, I'm Cameron. I don't read comics. I love them. And welcome back to another episode of Cameron Reads Comics. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about Ant-Man, issues number 1 through 4 by Al Ewing and Tom Reilly, with colors by Jordie Bellaire. A lot of times, continuity gets in the way of being able to tell actual stories. And this is an area where DC and Marvel struggle often. I'm glad to say that this is a delightful story that you don't need to know anything about Ant-Man. This is only like my second Ant-Man story, okay? If you have a brief idea of who the main characters in Ant-Man are, you're in the right place, okay? I'd recommend reading Irredeemable Ant-Man for a little context on Eric O'Grady, but also just because it's written by Robert Kirkman. It's like his only Marvel book he's ever written, so check it out for that reason. Al Ewing is a hot commodity at Marvel right now, okay? His Immortal Hulk run is one of the best runs on the characters in Marvel history. I'm looking to see what he can do with other Marvel characters as a reader. I'm also aching to read Immortal Hulk. I just started it, so you will see an Immortal Hulk review in the future. Each issue celebrates a different Ant-Man in every generation, and that's like the cool part. This series came up because it's a celebration of 60 years of Ant-Man since Hank Pym debuted. 60 years of Ant-Man, and so each issue celebrates kind of like a different generation of Ant-Man, while also introducing a brand new Ant-Man of the future. So here are the Ant-Men that we have had so far: Hank Pym, who we know, Scott Lang, really kind of the current Ant-Man, and then Eric O'Grady, who is known as the Irredeemable Ant-Man. Those are the first 3 issues, and there's a 4th secret future Ant-Man that we get introduced to in this series. Now, this series is really well done. Ewing plays with the potential crossovers that they could have had in their lives before becoming superheroes. There's a really fun nod to Hank Pym being at the movies with Janet Van Dyne, and Eric O'Grady is a annoying little kid who's disrupting all the other moviegoers because he is not a great guy. Spoilers for Irredeemable Ant-Man. They're plucked from their timelines individually after like kind of a single adventure that they go on. Then they get plucked from their timelines into a larger thing that's happening in the future by the future Ant-Man. They're picked up to fight a scary villain, and my only hint of who the villain is that it's a villain of Ant-Man's creation. That's all you get. The first issue tracks the adventures of Hank Pym in the 60s, and very much a classic Tales to Astonish issue. The second issue follows Eric O'Grady and his adventures as the Irredeemable Ant-Man. And I thought that was I actually really liked that issue. The third is Scott Lang. The last issue is the newest Ant-Man from the future and kind of like culminates the entire story of why they need it, what's going to go on. Overall, it's a super fun series that celebrates a character that doesn't get represented well, okay? I don't read a lot of Ant-Man stories. I'm not really drawn, and I don't think Marvel always puts their top talent on Ant-Man. So to be able to see this be the Ant-Man story that they choose to tell, I think it showed that Al Ewing was a fan. He played really well with the comic medium to show different generations of this great character. So that was awesome. Now for the art. Tom Reilly. I think Tom Reilly is the perfect artist to illustrate this kind of style. He has a timeless style that captures all the generation really well. I think that he nails the costume designs of all of these characters, even in his costume design of the newest character. I thought was amazing. The covers are a great example of this. It is the chest of each individual Ant-Man, and they look really freaking good. You can tell which one is which based on their uniforms. I also think that his ability to adapt other art styles was really, really well done there. I think it's just timeless. It's not dated, and that is also thanks to Jordie Bellaire's colors, supplementing Tom Reilly's art perfectly. Jordie Bellaire. I love how she colors these pages. She uses such soft colors and reflect the time period very, very, very well. I love everything she did for issue 1. It just felt like I was being transported back in the day, and it was just a great issue. Now, for how did I like it? I really liked this story. I thought it was exactly what it was supposed to be. It set out to tell the story it wanted to tell, and it did it very well. Ant-Man's a cool character with complicated history, and I think he's a hard character to make likable, but they did a really great job with this one. I think Al Ewing did his job well in this story. Fun, easily digestible Ant-Man story, great art that just added to the Ant-Man lore. So for my rating, I give this story a 7.8 out of 10. Next week, I'm going to be reviewing this same kind of perspective, but for the Wasp, who shortly had her first appearance after Ant-Man. So, I'm Cameron. I don't just read comics. I love them. Drop a comment if you like Ant-Man. I want to know what I need to read next. I don't just read comics. I love them. I'll see you next time.